who's
Well done.
Thanks, Shahana.
Well done, ready?
Did I get all the players in? ये तो he's like इधर घर पे जा.
क्या बजा क्या है?
No. Yeah, or
9?
Yeah, she has gone for fadder.
Huh?
8
Oh, damn. Okay. I should rush because I will get a lot.
orders landed, I think. Hi, I'm Mridula, your companion on Refractions Pod. We're going to delve into skincare and wellness and also sprinkle in some storytelling magic. Join me as we unravel some secrets, swap some tips, and talk about all the little rituals that make us feel better. This is more than just a podcast, it's a casual, cozy chat and sharing of experiences. So come on, kick back, relax, and welcome to Refraction. Anna, welcome to Refractions podcast.
Thank you.
Just begin by telling me a little about how you got into acting, and did you do like pretend play as a child? Did you
Always. I was that child constantly. Like, I think I used to talk to myself and make up stories and play them out myself all the time. So I was a big one for whenever I got any free time, that's what I'd be doing.
You're a natural then.
I was never trained, so I had a lot of insecurities about that. But then I realized, I guess I was made to do this because now I've been doing it for so long, and I feel like the less I think about it, the better I'm at doing it. So
To make it seem more genuine, like as you're acting, with somebody, what do these serious scenes and characters do to you? Like, do you take this work home sometimes if you're
No.
playing serious?
I don't take it home even in them. Like in between shots, I'm laughing. So it's like I'm switch on, switch off. Because for me, it's like filmmaking is very complicated. Like there's so much going on behind the scenes, as you are also now getting to
Yeah.
experience. So
Yeah.
there's so much in between a cut and a take that you end up like,
Yeah.
just switching on and off.
So then what is your process then? Because how do you bring like depth into your performance? Because whatever I have seen of it, it's quite serious, and in your acting, your skill basically.
It's, I think, just like being able to imagine the scenario that I'm playing out.
Right.
So I keep imagining it actually happening and how I would be or how that character would be in that moment, and then reacting basically. And over time, I've realized all that planning and all that is never something that I did in any case, but now I understand why I don't, because it helps me to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's just be present, being as present. And it's hard to do that sometimes because we're so used to being distracted in so many ways or overthinking things and whatever. So to be truly present, where you allow yourself to really listen, to really react, really do it each time as if you haven't hearing it for the first time. I think that's all. That's all I.
And have you connected to any of your characters so that it's kind of changed a little bit, or you learned something from that character's experience?
From the characters, I think all the characters have they've already had aspects that are like me, and then there are things that I have imbibed and learned from them or explored a certain side of myself through that character. So it's like, oh, okay, interesting that I have access to that. I mean, for example, I was saying this the other day to someone, like I don't get angry very easily, and I only have moments of rage I've had only like a few times in my life, and sometimes sadly with my mom. But that's the only place where it comes out. But on camera, I have shouted and screamed so much and felt very natural doing it, but I never do it otherwise. So,
But it's also like out of body, right? It's in someone else's
character, So maybe it's some kind of catharsis that happens. I don't know, but like
you're venting.
Venting, or getting to do it legitimately.
How are you navigating all the glamour and all of those things along with creating this good craft and art and all of those things?
There's one part which is, of course, the character when you play. Like when I did something like A Suitable Boy, Meenakshi's got that certain flair, and then you have to kind of be that person who has that flair and who's wearing those things and the glamour part, and it would take 2.5 hours to get ready. And then I've played parts where 5 minutes to get ready, no makeup,
Like
Nothing.
Svigato.
Yeah,
think
so that was no makeup.
It was so good though.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you bridge that gap? Because you are not that person at all
yeah.
in your real life. And isn't that like a big transition to
It
make?
is. I actually don't even know how I do it. I don't have a process. I don't know. Maybe it's just. I think there's a lot of things that kind of bring it all together. There's also the script, the direction. There's so much information that one has about the character, and getting into hair, makeup, costume is a big part of it. When you get into hair, makeup, costume, you automatically start feeling like when you're in that setting of that space. Those things all help, and then something happens. I have no idea how.
Yeah. Did you navigate this in your 20s different from your doing in your 30s? Like as it goes and this your space within the industry, how do you see it evolving?
I think the things that have shifted are more like my style of acting, I would say, is very similar. I've always been instinctive and I've done things like that. And my experience on a set has always been really lovely. And I've worked with great actors right from the start of my career. So I've had a lot of luck with having really great co-actors and directors that I've worked with. But I think the things that have changed is more when things are good and you've got your dreams have come true, then you start thinking more into the nuances of it. So for me, it's more now, I want to explore more. I want to be more involved. For me, it's not important to be the main lead of a thing. But for me, it's more about feeling like what we call HOD, which is the head of the department. You want to feel invested enough in the project with the team, in the collaborative part of it, to feel like you were part of something. Yeah. Come in and do, a few days and go out, that's not my interest anymore. It doesn't excite me. I want to feel like I'm a part of the head of the creative team. In some.
That is nice. So do you see a difference though, your male counterparts and women? Do we get that say in these things and making the decisions, or how is it now? Is it evolving? Is it changing?
I think it depends on the projects, because I've ended up doing, actually, funnily enough, I think I've worked with more female directors than I've worked with male directors. Most of my projects have been very female-centric.
Right.
The characters and the storylines have been female-centric. So in that, I think there's never been a problem. But I've generally never had a problem in terms of, I think the kind of directors I work with, they're very collaborative in nature. So they all do like that kind of input, and they allow for that space from their actors, whether they're male or female. That part, I think, has been very easy and collaborative.
Yeah, I feel like whatever you've been part of, that whole angle of objectifying women has sort of flipped on the other side.
Yeah.
And I feel it's new age in a way where, like when there's nudity or something like that, it's handled in such a different manner than it has ever been.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that? If you're obviously being told that there's going to be some intimate scenes and whatever, how do you make your decisions on that?
To me, it's always, I've actually done a lot of it through my career, I think, right from the start. And I think of it as any other scene. And I think maybe I'm lucky that I have a certain ease with my body, which I'm not conscious of my body. I mean, I could strip in this room also. It wouldn't really make a difference to me.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with, we all have our own things of feeling like, oh, this should be less, that should be more. All that is different.
Yeah.
But I'm not body conscious in terms of like, being shy or being awkward. And something about the film setting for me, like I don't even have, we often have this closed set when we're doing it. Since I don't need that, for example. Like, to me, I feel like it's like any other scene. Everybody who needs to be there should be there.
Right.
I don't have a problem.
So you're thorough professional. I'm here.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and people are very professional around you, and these places, you're always made to feel like people really take care of you. Like when you do an emotional scene, when you're doing something which demands something of you, when you're doing a very physical scene, people will always take care of you on set. So I feel very taken care of by with the whole team and everybody around.
Yeah.
From the spot boys to the lighting, everybody is sensitive, to things that are happening.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I was watching Bombay Beckham, I was like, how have you handled this? Like, just to even look like you're doing something sexual or whatever. Yeah. There's a fine line there, right?
Yeah.
And then the light guy will just say, "Arey, kiss on this, remove this side, the light, get the light on this side." You know what I mean? Like that.
No, thankfully that doesn't happen. But like
it's unromantic. You might be in a romantic scene, but
Yeah, it's
Everything
very,
else is unromantic.
it's totally like the show I was doing also, there was a lot of lovemaking and all that. It's so choreographed. It's like a dance, you know.
Yeah.
Film acting is like a dance. So
Yeah.
it's like you learn a choreography, you understand the choreography of emotions, choreography of movement, choreography of kissing, this, that, what, everything is kind of mapped, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I think everybody's bringing a professional game.
yeah.
Hopefully there are not seedy people along the way.
In fact, funnily enough, all the things that I've done, the men unfortunately have been, not unfortunately, like what I mean is the men have been more uncomfortable, because for them it's a very weird thing, because they'll always feel like they might be doing something wrong. Also,
Most of them are married.
yeah, also that. Then, but even otherwise, like there's just so much discomfort for them. I've been like consoling them, being like, it's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, because they also don't want to cross a
Don't
line.
cross a line and all that. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, so tell me, earlier I said that, you are a serious actress. Do you feel like you've been typecasted in a way and you get only serious roles? And what would you like to do that's going to break you out of that?
yeah, I think the typecasting is something that ends up happening naturally. You know, like if you think about it, even if you and I are sitting and chatting and we're like, who would you cast for this role? We'll think of someone who's already played that role.
Correct.
Basically, right? So that's because the mind works like that.
Yeah.
So I understand why it happens. So partly I have tried to, this is also part of what we asked earlier. Like now I often say no to things that are very similar to kind of the moods and the spaces that I've already explored as an actor.
Yeah.
And if it's very similar in tonality to other things I've done, then I don't. Like I end up saying no to it, because I don't want to keep doing the same thing. And the only way to make space for something like that is to say no. No's make space for the yeses that will come. So there was a phase when I said no to lots of things like that. And then it shifted and things, I think there's a big thing. I mean, the only problem is that you can't make it, like you have to wait for a project to come along that allows for you to do it.
Yeah.
But in that sense, weirdly enough, I think just like being wishful and hopeful and putting it out there in the universe and putting it out there in any way and form possible makes it kind of allow for it to happen.
Yeah, all these streaming platforms now, there's so much content that's being created. There's so much avenue of getting different
Exactly.
jobs. There's been a resurgence of all the 90s and 2000 actresses. All are
everybody's back.
Everybody's back. So do you feel more positive about women coming back in their 40s, in their 50s? We've got everybody. There's Shushmita and made a comeback. And what do you think about that? How does that make your trajectory also, the longevity of your career?
I feel like I have surfed the wave exactly as it was coming up, and I'll keep surfing it. So my timing of entering the career, movie industry was also such that I entered at a time when things were already shifting.
Yeah.
And I entered in the era when Bollywood was becoming less Bollywood, whether it was rock on or whatever. It was no longer the quintessential Bollywood, what we call masala film. It was beginning to start explore differently.
Yeah.
And now it's only expanded. And somehow for me, I don't think sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, it's going to be like this July, it'll be 18 years that I've been working.
Wow.
So I'm like, that's crazy, on whatever, 18? Yeah, 19 years. 19 years. Wow, 19 years. So I feel like I never thought of an end to I always imagined that I'll keep acting.
Yeah.
And it happened. So I have no reason to feel, in fact, I've always felt I will do way more.
But I feel you didn't pigeonhole yourself by wanting to be that glamorous heroine.
Yeah.
See, that is where that variety just goes. And then you're chasing something that maybe,
But earlier, I feel like a lot of those people who are now, like who were actresses in the 90s, they didn't have an option.
Yeah.
It's not that they necessarily wanted to be. Yeah, that's just the way the filmmaking was. I don't think that they were also craved good roles.
Yeah.
They would have perhaps played older, younger, whatever required, or something more nuanced.
Yeah.
But they were never written in that way.
Because it was more male-centric.
Even the male characters were written so badly. It was so two-dimensional. It was nothing. So writing having improved now, all kind of characters, there's space and scope. I mean, that way right now, I feel like even teenage characters or younger characters are also better written, unlike what they were in the 90s. Like, Maji, yaad rakhna, papa, and that kind of whatever, like So it's not as cliched anymore. You know?
Yeah. So you've not really, that's why I was saying that you've not succumbed to, change your appearance in a way or anything to sort of fit the bill.
No.
But then you've created your own sort of way.
Yeah.
So-
I think I've been lucky, and that's because I also feel like if I had to, I often ask myself that, because the first audition I did, I got, and then after that I kept getting stuff, and it was just the kind of stuff that suited me.
Yeah.
And I've had a great journey in terms of the work I've done and the people that I've worked with.
Yeah.
And I wonder sometimes that if I had been rejected, and if I had to be put into, like, if I was made to fit into a box in a sense, or try to be another way, would I have done it? I would have stopped acting perhaps.
It was taking the pleasure of
Because for me, I'm somebody who, at the end of the day, I can't fake it for too long. I have to be able to be myself.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest lucky factor for me, that in an industry which is known to demand you to shift and change, I have never been, I've been appreciated for being who I am.
And do you think like Bollywood has become a little bit safer after this whole Me Too thing? Is it better for the girls these days?
I hope so. I think so. I hope so. But I think it's also things like there is also a lot more equality in the number of people in a crew. Like the girls and the boys are almost even. Sometimes there are more girls, in fact. So I think those things also help, that when you have more people around. Plus, I think the younger generation anyway is more, they've grown up differently. They've not grown up with that much patriarchy. Or the effects of patriarchy have not been that strong on the younger generation. So I feel like it's shifting and changing, but it's also just people, these are also things that I've talked about more openly now. Think about it, before Me Too, nothing was ever talked about.
It
was always in like parties and like, just friend circles. Publicly, nobody ever talked about any of this stuff. So I think those things help, that there's a lot more conversation around everything.
Getting to play good characters and sort of handling it as a business. Like, how do you see this pay parity thing? How do you meet between this creativity and then it being your bread butter? And men obviously rating it.
No, but you know what? I have to say,
I don't know about how characters, actors and all get ready.
But can I say something? Pay parity is not there. So the man-woman thing may be true of certain things, but it's there across everything. If there's a film full of women, there will be pay parity even in that.
Right.
Because it's a power thing at the end of the day. And it's to do with, it's never been based on, see, the film industry you don't have, oh, I'm a doctor, I've got this diploma, then that, or it's very intangible, your skill, right? And your success also is intangible. It's really something where I've had the opposite as well, where I know I've been paid double of what the other person has been paid, who's a man, by the way. So, and we're playing the same level of parts,
right?
Equal parts. So that's also happened. Now, where can I can't make that statement that the pay parity is only happening one way.
So it's obviously changing. There is, women have made space. The characters are being written for them.
I'm saying there is no change, but but it's not to do. There's no change in terms of the hierarchical nature of payments in this business, at least. Because that will always be there. Who the subject and the object is will keep changing. That's all. Like I said, in any ensemble cast, if they actually sat and discussed the payments, it's really about how well your negotiating power was and where you stand in the scheme of things and how much they wanted you. So it's really about that.
If they really wanted you, then they're going to do the thing. And they'll obviously push to see if you're going to do it for what X amount or whatever.
And now that thing, I think the earlier pay parity was more to do with when you have a big star and you have an actress, then it's almost like, oh, it's in your benefit to be acting with this, which is also true. After that film, you're going to be charging a bomb.
Correct.
So I look at this business, I have no judgment, I have understanding about it, and I understand why it happens the way it is. If somebody is not taking me in their film, like in a big budget Sanjay Leela Bhansali film, if he's not taking me as his lead, it's economics. I understand that, because he's to justify the money that he needs eyeballs, and for eyeballs he needs someone who's that popular.
Missing out.
That's another matter. But that's a separate thing. I mean, those people should also take chances. And I mean, I'm not saying him specifically. I'm saying generally, like, people should also know that you are in a position of power to create a star, also to bring people's attention to something else also. But that's a separate thing. But I'm saying it's it's just one of those spaces where I forgot what I was saying only.
It's fine. We were talking about pay and something.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Okay. So tell me how much are you, like thinking about, CGI and then digital anti-aging in movies? And, what do you think? Is it going to undermine your skill of acting? Like, if you can do everything on CGI.
I think I have great faith in the human quality of being human, and I have eternal faith in the fact that nothing can take that away, because at the end of the day, it's catering to human beings. Everybody said theaters will disappear. They can't. That's an experience. Human beings enjoy that experience of coming together and watching something.
Yeah.
It's never going to go away. That doesn't mean that you can't also enjoy sitting in bed and watching something, or sitting on your phone and watching something, but that is not going to go away.
Yeah.
It'll always be there, And similarly, I feel like you can't take away the feel of seeing another's flesh, of seeing another actual, and feeling an emotion, which is different from watching something that's animated. When you're watching something animated, it's not real.
Yeah.
When you're watching something real, it has a different feel.
Yeah.
So that thing, I don't feel the beauty. I mean, when you're shooting, you realize the magic is in the mistakes, in the moments of fumbling.
And the realness.
Yeah. So that you can't, So I feel like that thing of being touched by someone because of the way they perform and they do something for real, that can't be replaced by it. You can have an additional element of
enhance the thing.
No, or you can have films that are all AI and that exactly its own genre, but it's not going to take away from people wanting to see real people act.
Yeah, of course. And how in all of this, you're so busy. Today you've done like things. You've come away to something else.
Yeah.
How do you have an emotional and mental balance whilst looking good, whilst remembering your dialogues, and all of those things? What do you do to like just strike a balance?
So the simple answer is to be present. There's no other option. The more you're present in the moment that you're in, the more you're able to do without because most of our fatigue is mental. Oh shit, I have this. Oh shit, I have that. Oh shit, it's that. Your body will cope because you're in the zone, doing what you need to. Beyond that, I think for me, exercising is another thing that really has helped me shed a lot of things, and spirituality. I think it's a lot of just being mindful, aware, meditating whenever, because sometimes what happens is I'm also someone who loves time alone, and I don't often get time alone. So I've learned that but I enjoy being in people's company as well. Yeah. So I've learned how to recharge quickly while being around people also.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is actually be truly in the moment.
What's your advice for people who are just coming in
and in the industry?
Yes.
As actors?
I
think just observe. I have learned so much from just being curious.
Yeah.
To stay curious, to observe, to watch, to not just observe externally, but observe internally, because that really helps you give in scenes and more. If you're aware of your own emotions, if you're aware of your own reactions, your own things, then you're able to use it when you need to use it for a character. But other than that, just observe life around you, live life. I feel my biggest teacher for acting has been living life. Honestly, it would be that, just to be able to observe, stay curious,
and also find opportunities, right? That's tough. When you think, okay, I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
Access and opportunity is
very difficult. And that's because our industry is not designed that way. Anywhere else, I think there's a system where you attach yourself to an agency, then the casting people, the calls always go to the agencies, they send the people. But here you don't have that system. So it's very tough. It's really a luck game that happens, unfortunately. And maybe there should be some kind of a system, but there isn't.
Yeah. Would you ever like to direct
Yes.
or write?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
something?
That was always part
where
of the
you
plan.
again bring more women's stories and those kind of things.
Yeah, that's always been part of the plan. I think since I was a kid, there was a separate acting dream and separate directing dream, and to me they are separate. I will not act in what I direct. I don't wish to direct myself.
Yeah, right, of course, because I feel like you've got more than just the natural flair and the depth.
Yeah, I love filmmaking. Like for me, that curiosity on set from day one, I've learned and seen and understood so much, and it's because I love it. Like there is a part of me that wants to be able to create that.
Yeah. That's another step.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, directing, writing, having your own production house. The thing is endless, right?
Yeah, it's endless. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel more women doing that actually puts other younger women also in safer spaces to sort of come in and approach. Isn't it like you feel easier if there was a woman director?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like right now, this show I'm doing, the showrunner is a female, and the director is also female, and there are a lot of females in the crew. So I think there is a sense of safety that people do feel and feel more maybe seen in a certain way, which is different. So
how was working with Nandita Das? How was
amazing? It was my second time round with her. Her first film I acted in, Firak. So after 10 years or so, we were, acting again together. I mean, she directed me, and she's amazing. She's an extremely, extremely talented director in the way she goes about. She's very hands-on. The way she gives instructions also, the nuances. She's a pleasure to work with. Yeah, complete pleasure.
Lovely. What do you think your parents wanted for you when you were growing up and you started acting? Did you ever think about their perspective, what they wanted for their child?
Wow, I actually never did.
Because I was an economist. What?
But my parents have always been both, my mother and my father have both done a lot of things in the arts. Like my father has acted. My mother has acted. My mother is still acting. My mother has learned dance. So they never did it as their full-time job. And I think for them, I don't know if they had a dream for me. I think they just wanted me to do whatever I wanted to do. And I grew up with that. I mean, when you asked me this question, I realized I never even thought of it because I was brought up to be independent.
Okay. Give us an advice that you haven't got and you just learned it through experience.
In the business.
Yeah, in life, one advice that you never got and you think, hey, nobody told me this.
I don't think we're told often enough to be ourselves. Like I said, my parents encouraged me to be whoever I wanted to be. But there's a difference between that and being told, like it's something that I end up telling people all the time. Just be yourself, whatever that is. Because something about being yourself allows you to know yourself. Because to be yourself, you have to first know yourself. There's so much conditioning, so many other things, and a large part of who we are or who we think we are is like we are unknown to ourselves. So to me, I feel like that would be the thing of just to be able to, because when you start telling yourself that, okay, I'm going to be myself, then you actually start seeing like, oh, it's like freedom. I always say, when you're free to be anything or do anything, that's the biggest responsibility, because now you have nothing to blame.
Yeah, it's exists.
You can't blame anything, right? Yeah. Because you're making your choices. So I feel that about being yourself. I feel we're all free to be ourselves. We have to learn how to be ourselves and then sit and choose who we really are, who we need to be in a moment.
And I feel parents have a big contribution.
Yeah.
Actually in that, because, I was watching this very nice clip of this kid. She was helping her mother cook. She was just 2 years old, 3 years old. She cracked an egg and it broke. The mother didn't flinch.
Yeah.
Any mother in India, she would lose it.
Yeah.
But she literally said, it's okay, baby. And then she took another thing and taught her how to do it. So that kind of intervention, I think parents need to change that.
Yeah.
Because I feel we take it upon ourselves that our kid is ace.
Yeah.
They're studying well, they're well behaved, they're doing
correct.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're their own people. Now I've got 2 kids.
Yeah,
How much am I going to control their life?
yeah. And I think I think we've forgotten how to kind of hold space for each other.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
And which is why the only way to do that is when you are encouraging yourself to be yourself, then you'll encourage others to be themselves.
Yeah.
The reasons why parents also have done that is because nobody told them to be themselves either.
Yeah.
They had to abide by their parents.
Stand straight.
Their parents' requirements of them, and that's what they understand parenting to be then.
Right. Yeah.
So the more you tell yourself and others to be themselves, the more you are going to be able to hold space for other people around you, not just your kids but just anyone. Otherwise, there's this weird kind of self-centeredness that comes in, or complete lack of awareness and sensitivity to anybody or anything around.
Yeah. Yeah, even in my household, I never felt like I was told to do this, stand here, do that, ever. I was never told don't wear short skirt, like this kind of stuff. I was modeling. My dad only told me this one funny thing. He was like, you can't stop studying. You can do whatever you want. You might need a real job one day. That's how he said. So then I continued studying and I did all of that. But yet I'm here. Doing everything, without a schedule and this kind of thing.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask you one last question before that rapid fire. If I gave you a box of things you've ever lost, you're very young actually for this question, but if you've ever lost, what is the first thing you will look for in that box when I give it to you?
Nice question. Of course, I thought of a person.
Yeah, well, it can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be anything, it can be a whatever.
Two. Then I have 2 nice ones. One is the person who Gautam Berry, who's my really close family friend, uncle, best friend, whatever. And he died, so I just thought of his name came to my head. And the other thing that I've always wanted is accessing memories of the ages of from 1 to 6 or 5, which we've forgotten. Because I feel like that brain must have been incredible. How much you're learning and what all you're thinking. And that's your pure, when I see kids, I'm like, you're so pure. I would really love to remember what I was thinking and how I was observing the world at that time.
You know what is good? Now, at least me and my generation as parents, we've made so many videos and pictures. My kids have a crazy memory of their 1 to 4. Because they've seen home videos, they've seen, but we didn't have that. Parents were not chasing us with a video camera.
Correct.
So they always say, you remember, mommy, we went to this beach and then daddy kicked the ball, because they've seen us kind of
Right. But do they remember how they felt?
Yeah, of course. Because when they look at it, they're like, oh, it was such a good day. Or, all of that. Oh, this day, mommy, I fell down. They then connect it. So I feel it sort of jogs your memory a little bit if you had pictures and videos to back it up.
Maybe.
Strange, huh?
I do have some memories from when I was 2.5 and all, very vivid memories. Yeah, I would love to have more of a feeling of my thoughts and all from that time.
Listen, we were like the first people to get that Dionara TV so big with the big back thing back in the day.
Yeah.
And so there was no camera, definitely. So things have changed.
Things have changed a lot. But I feel lucky that we've seen so much of it. I'm like, we've seen from fax machines to black and white TV to... I had a TV which didn't have a remote. We had to go gate and then you had to tune them. All that also. And I'm like, and we get to see all the new stuff.
And then when that high-speed dubbing came, when you had to dub from one tape to the other, and then it would go in high speed and people would come to our house and copy the tape.
Oh, yeah.
Walkmans.
I love Walkmans.
Yeah. Earlier I was talking to Priya also. I was like, I think our generation lucked out because we actually saw we kind of went from analog to digital.
Yeah.
And so I think we are very lucky.
We got lucky. And our ability to learn technology is not so alien, which it is for a slightly older generation that starts kind of being like, this is too much. Hopefully that won't happen to us.
And I think our generations also fought that conditioning a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe our parents have something to contribute to that, actually, to be forward thinking and helping us to grow the way we want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sort of we can then take it forward.
Yeah, we'll be the cool one.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some rapid fire pop quiz sort of thing. Who has been your favorite co-star?
Oh my God. That's a really hard one.
Who was the easiest to work with? No tension.
All of them. I've had really great co-stars, but okay, Vivek Gombar. I worked with him twice. He's played my husband twice. So yeah.
Is he the guy from Bombay? He was nice. You all had good
was my husband,
wife.
suitable boy also, and then in Bombay.
Do you do a 7-step skincare?
Not at all. I have just about started to insist on myself that I have to put cream.
Yeah, hydrate.
By the way, I use your refractions.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that's nice to hear. How often do you wash your favorite bra?
Oh, I don't have any such. I give my bras for washing. I just generally have become a person who doesn't. I don't wear something once and throw it away.
For wash, right?
Yeah.
This is real, right?
Yeah. Except underwear.
This is a phenomenon.
Yeah. This is except for like panties. Nothing else will I throw immediately after wearing.
It's like wearing jeans.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like the Disney princess Ariel or Jasmine?
I'm more Ariel at times, so Ariel, yeah.
Texting or talking?
Texting.
What was your last song you downloaded?
Oh, interesting. What was the last song I downloaded? I never know names of songs. Names of like I know basically on Spotify when I hear something nice, I just download it,
save it,
and then I familiarize myself with the name much later. But sometimes I don't know if I only know the melody. But usually it's something like I love a lot of little beats, like beats and rhythms and like Afro stuff. Okay.
Would you prefer invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Okay.
Super strength I have.
Yeah. At what age do you want to retire?
No, I'm not retiring.
At all?
Not this life.
Okay. What's your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I don't know.
Do you have time to watch these TV?
I do watch, but like I'm a web show, yeah, but I don't think I have a favorite. I'm so not being rapid, so sad.
It's fine. Do you have a celebrity crush? Did you have one before you started?
So many. I had a huge crush on Amir Khan from 5 to 15, and then from 15 onwards, I had a huge crush on Milind Soman, who then became my boyfriend. But yeah.
What fun.
Yeah.
It's like dream come.
Yeah, that was full, filmy.
This setting the bar that high, it's a bit like...
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, done.
Yeah. Have you slapped anyone?
Never in life, and I had to slap only in films.
Movie.
Yeah. Gombar only I slapped. You saw in that, in Bombay Begums.
Yeah.
But in life, I haven't
really slapped anyone. Do you get like... Have you made any comments and you got backlash anytime?
Comment on like
anything, like you've said something online and
no, you're being lucky, man. I realize like I anticipated because I think I'm saying something or doing something which we could have backlash, but I've not.
Yeah, but I think you're a very open person, so maybe that is one of the things. You're not controversially open, but you're just open.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, could be
possibly. What's your favorite carb?
Favorite carb? Well, pasta. I think I have a thing. Yeah, I love rice, but rice is like ghar ki dal barabar.
Mountain or sea?
Mountain.
I mean, I love mountain. If you see a spider, will you kill it or set it free?
I don't kill anything.
Okay.
Yeah, even cockroaches now I don't kill. I can't. I mean, I feel very bad. Sometimes I try.
Even a nuclear weapon will not.
Mosquito also I don't kill. I'll put Odomos and all that, but I won't kill it. Spider too I love. I like spiders.
You like spiders. Okay, good. Would you go to watch a movie alone?
I prefer watching a movie.
Even I've been many times.
Since I was a kid and when I came to Bombay, that was one of the first things I did.
Yeah.
To go and watch movies alone. I would watch movies back to back alone.
Do you have any stuffed toy in your house on your bed?
No, man. This is the one thing that a lot of my friends have. And not just girlfriends. I know like people who've had some
Boys also have.
yeah, things that they've kept from childhood. Or I never was into stuffed toys. I don't know why.
Do you prefer being confronted by a mini hippo or a giant cockroach?
Mini hippo.
Mini hippo, no?
Yeah, giant cockroach. It would be quite something. Yeah,
Scary. Okay, last one. Who inspires you?
so many people, man. Young people doing things
Yeah.
so professional, so good at what they do. Like it's really like I get inspired by a lot of every person around me. You know, you see this.
You take different things from
Yeah.
different people. Yeah.
Again, observe. When you observe, there's enough to be inspired by everyone, every human being. Even the worst person on the planet who you think, something about them will be inspiring.
That's what'll make a world a better place.
Yeah. So this is not boxing people, as long as
Right.
boxing people.
Cool.
Well done.
Thanks, Shahana.
Well done, Reddy.
Thanks, Shahana, for coming and chatting with me.
Thanks. This is so fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
You've woken me up for sure.